Hey, so I'm just doing this quick video because I wanted to do some book reviews about a bunch of books I just bought recently. And if you, I blame or I thank my friend Vince for introducing to me some of these books, and I ended up with a book haul this big. Um, as a result of some of his suggestions. So I thought I'd just show you through some of these books because I, I would have appreciated knowing a bit more about the books before I purchased them. So I thought it might be handy for others. So most of these are because I'm learning and mastering kinesiology, which is very much grounded in Chinese medicine and meridians as well. So I'll just go through some of these books. All right. So first one is this one, particularly effective acupoints for common conditions. It's a pocket handbook. It is very much focused on acupuncture. Had I known that, I may not have purchased this one. As you can see, it does go through each of the key points, I suppose, the particularly effective acupoints, and it talks about the location, the acupuncture moxibustion and functions and indications, which definitely could be useful, but because I am not an acupuncturist and at this stage don't plan to be one, probably very limited use for me, although I would probably still use those same points for acupressure. So that's the first book. I think I showed you some of the pictures inside. So they're very good in that they're very clear as to where those acupuncture points are. Whether or not it's enough for an acupuncturist, I'm not sure. Not being one myself. Okay, so that's book one. Next book is Life Energy, Using the Meridians to Unlock the Hidden Power of Your Emotions by John Diamond. This was a book recommendation by my course instructor, John McGuire. So this is a book I really wanted, mainly just text, but there's some photos and tables, etc. I haven't read this one. I'm sure it'll be amazing. But that's that book. Probably not something I necessarily need to review in this video, but I just wanted to call that one out. Next one is this, the Applied Physiology Limited of the 7-element figure eights. This cost me, and it's literally like a bunch of pages, $50 odd Australian. Probably would not recommend. This article that is in this can be found online for free and downloadable. So probably would not recommended if you can just go through this information yourself elsewhere. This does have the pretty pictures. Oh, maybe pretty is a bit of a stretch, but it does have some colored diagrams and pictures in it, which I have yet to understand. So maybe that is going to become super useful, and I would have may really, really appreciate this booklet in the future, but just thought I'd call that one out. Next one is Meridians, Modes and Formats, another like a bound book, like as in a thingy bound book. Lots of images and pictures of diagrams of points and things. If I tell, I don't know how to use this book yet, but it looks like it could be useful. Sorry, just click through that, which I thought was very cool, is like a zillion of these different hand modes, very clearly displayed, which I think could be very much worth it. So yes, that's this one, Meridians, Modes and Formats by Hugo Tobar. Tobar, sorry, Tobar. Hugo Tobar. Next one is not a kinesiology book. It's a Psychic Discoveries Behind the Iron Curtain. It was a book recommended on X or Twitter. And because I'm into all the esoterical type stuff, and I wouldn't mind understanding better what was behind the Iron Curtain, because I know that the Russians were very much more advanced into discovering psychic powers, etc. So was recommended. I believe this is a secondhand book. I got it from thrift books. It definitely has that older style book to it, and it's nice and covered. So I got it, and it was already covered, which is always a bonus. Next one is Heal Yourself with Traditional Chinese Medicine. I don't know. I have had a flick through this book already. It does have some good information in there. It's got symptoms, etc. May not have been something that I needed given the coursework I've already done. But as you can see here, it talks about this particular page talks about allergies. Yeah, it's well laid out. It is by Dr. Lili Choi, apparently very famous in New York and in the US, so could be very useful. As I said, may not have been great for the level of learning already done at this stage, but still very good in terms of layout and the key things there. Next book, I haven't really even flicked through this one yet. It's called The Subtle Body Practice Manual, a comprehensive guide to energy healing. I bought this one because I had bought another book in this pile. You get it in some sort of order. You can see I bought quite a few different books, and of course I can't find the book that I was looking for, but here it is. See, I didn't even show you all the books I bought. So because I bought this book, which is the Subtle Body Colouring book, which is meant to be a colouring book, and I thought it might be useful for me to understand the premise of this colouring book. Hence, I bought this book, and then hence I bought this book, The Subtle Body and the Encyclopedia of Your Energetic Anatomy. I'm hoping that I can learn more about chakras and auric fields from these books. So the layout looks good and like a textbook sort of thing. Let me see if I can find some diagrams. So this is a chakras diagram, and text looks pretty heavy like a textbook, as I said. And I don't know how this is all going to play together, this one. And then the practice manual, which I'll just do a quick flick through. So, for example, again, more textbooky. This one's less glossy, these pages. I'm only doing that as comparison because that last book was more glossy. Yeah, it's got, a bit more information about chakras, etc. So definitely something I will be at least flicking through, but probably not one that I will want to read from page, from first page to last page, because that's not the way I learn. And as I said, that was the colouring book that started that purchase. But yeah, so the colouring pages. I actually don't know if this is a book that I will be using as a colouring in book. It might be just another good reference book there. All right. So, a few more books. So, talking about colouring books, I also have this one, which is Acupuncture Functions colouring book. So, just clicking to a random page, you'll see that, they're not the most exciting things to colour in, but it may actually help people like me learn the stuff on this page. For example, which talks about the different functions, etc., for each of the different acupressure points or acupuncture points. All right, so that was the acupuncture points functions colouring book. All right, and to finish off my colouring book things. Also, this one, Meridians of the Body activity book. Learn Meridians chart with fun. And I think this one's good because it's got a 12-day challenge. It's actually good that it's very structured, and it kind of leads you, meridian by meridian as to where they go. So you kind of it gets a little bit more advanced as the pages go in. Like there's probably about 3 or 4 pages per meridian. I have actually started looking at this one because it seemed fairly easy to break down, like the way that they've done it. I found it something that I'll probably use compared to the other coloring books, which just I think might be a bit too pushing it too hard for this one, right? So anyway, I would probably say this is going to be more useful, but something that will probably be done within 12 days. It's a 12-day challenge, and then we'll be done. So that's that one. All right. 2 more, oh no, 3 more maybe. I'll finish off with the fun one. So then there's this one, balancing the body's energies. Another one of these, printed manually type article-y ones. I don't know enough about this one, but it looks interesting because this is the meridians that we haven't learnt so far. So we've learnt things like, the governing and central, which are, I think, covered in this one. But I'll just flip to the page so you know which the extra meridians are. But I'm just going to flip to this page here, which talks about the muscle testing checklist, and it talks about some of these extra meridians. So we've got the meridian on the first column there, but you'll see that there's like mobility yang, which is one of the extra 8. If you Google it, you'll find the different meridians, but this is good from a kinesiology point of view, that you can see which muscles to test, and the neurolymphatics and the neurovasculars for these extra meridians. So I think as a incoming kinesiologist, I would recommend something like this if we can't find it elsewhere. So this one's by Wayne Topping, PhD. So muscle tests for the 8 extra meridians. Would recommend just based on, I should show you one of these other pages. It goes through the muscle tests and the neurovascular holding points and things like that. So recommend. All right. Last of the kinesiology ones, I purchased this one, which is called Applied Kinesiology, Revised Edition by Robert Frost. Again, may not be required for anybody that's already learned kinesiology. I don't think there's anything really that new in here, but who would know, because I haven't obviously studied this yet. But it's a training manual and reference book of basic principles and practices. So if you already have the basics down, probably not required. I just like collecting books, so would recommend if you want to collect them all, but not necessarily if you feel like you've got enough. I don't think this is going to add too much to your knowledge base. All right. I did say I'd have a fun one at the end, so you can stop watching if you only wanted to learn about the kinesiology type books. But because I was buying so many other coloring books, I bought this one for myself, which is it's just a cute and comfy coloring book. They do say that colouring in is meant to be quite soothing for the soul and mental state. But this one is kind of cute in that it's got really big pictures with big bold outlines, which makes it people like me be able to colour it in between the lines a bit easier. And you can see there's a blank page on the other side, so you're meant to just slip a thicker piece of paper or something in between so you can use textures. I did a bit of a trial run on the front page. As you can see, it's all coloured in. I use pencil, I use textures, and brush pens. So just to see what it would be like. And there was some bleed through. It talks about that too in this book. But thought I'd do that in this book, given the number of different colouring books I bought as this book haul. If you are interested, I just buy the really cheap pens from Kmart, brush pens, coloured pencils. I think they bought this from Officeworks years ago. These coloured textures. So that's all I've used. Hopefully this is of use to people, and yeah, let me know.